Hi. There is a very famous and very relevant saying: a tree that is unbending is easily broken. This is said by the great philosopher Lao Tzu. This statement talks about one quality and skill that we all should have, that is adaptability and flexibility. We all are fighting an unprecedented crisis, this pandemic times, where I would like to strongly recommend this quality as the only way we can steer through this crisis: adaptability. Dear children, and all those viewers who are with me on this channel, please understand, let us shed old habits and get into new roles and shoes. One of the most important things that we should have is, I repeat, adaptability and flexibility. Most of the time, the most important obstacle that we have in our progress is our own old habits, our own prejudices and conclusions. If you look at yourself, you will find that some of our own old habits and thoughts are stopping us from taking new roads. Like in the poem by Robert Frost, The Road Not Taken. There are people who are walking the road which everybody has always trodden on, and there is a road which very few people have taken. I would even go to the extent of saying, start walking even if there is no road, and let there be roads formed. All of you know that there was a time when, to make a phone call, we had to rush to public phone booths, telephone booths. Where have they gone? Times changed and our life situations, habits changed. What about cinema theaters slowly giving way to OTTs and other platforms? What about restaurants bringing food home now? You look at any aspects and fields of life, you will find we have always been trying to adapt to new situations. Whether telephone booth to mobile phones, from cinema theaters slowly to OTT platforms, milestones to GPS, silent movies to talkies. Everywhere in human history, there has been a struggle to adapt. So it is nothing new. Please convince yourself that this is another crisis in life I need to face, being flexible and ready to change my own habits and outlook. One of the areas where we find this tectonic kind of shift is the field of education. The kind of classrooms our children have been familiar with, our teachers have been familiar with, has completely changed in the last 5 to 6 months. Actual classrooms have given way to online classrooms. Whether Microsoft Teams or Google Classrooms, wherever it is, children have started adapting to these kinds of changes. Teachers have to adapt to these kinds of changes. It's not something very easy, but everyone is making the attempt, whatever possible from their side. Creatively, let us fight this crisis. I would say creativity is the only key with which we can unlock these critical times. Especially when we, as teachers, when we address children on the online platforms, let's first of all understand that we use new methods by which we can provide new experience of learning to children. In the actual classrooms, it was very easy for a teacher to convey so many things to the children using the body language, involving the children directly. Let us psychologically shift to the online platforms. There are hundreds of unexplored territories within us. Just let's keep quiet, silently observe what are those unexplored areas within us. And I am sure we will come out with new ideas to solve the difficulties that we face. One simple example I would give is what I did with my dear students. I was teaching one of the lessons, a very interesting short story. When in the actual classrooms, I used to enact it before the students. They would look at the body language, my facial expression, and laugh and enjoy the story. When I was teaching this in the online classes, I found that it was not creating the impact which I used to enjoy in the classrooms. And this is a situation where I can sit and complain. I can sit and cry and crib about it. And even some of my students told me, "Sir, I didn't enjoy the story." I need not take it as a threat. I took it as an opportunity to study my own methods. I thought there is something from outside which is forcing me to look for something more in me. Some potential I need to awaken. It took me a few days to understand how can I reach to my students using new methods. How can I take the story to my students with all its dramatic impact? So we started a radio drama. This is just a humble example. I know there are lots of teachers and trainers who are using varieties of creative methods. My humble pranams and big salute to all of them. But when I talk about my experience, I think I can very well project this here, which will be of use to so many students and teachers. So we did the radio drama, and now it is used by lots of students and teachers. They say that yes, we can feel the story. This is what my students told me. So it's one of the examples. And let us make sure that children take part in the learning process. It is more of their participation we need to take care of in the online classroom sessions. Everywhere in history, let us look at the challenges people have faced. Children, you are too young for you. Adapting to technology is more easy than your teachers. So don't sit complaining all the time or finding faults with your teachers. Try to help them out. If you know something more in technology, please volunteer and help the teachers. Walk with them, go with them, online, virtually, and make your classroom beautiful. Your classroom is not only your teacher's responsibility, but it is your responsibility as well. It's a space that both of you create together. It's a collaborative, creative space. If you have read the great book about teaching, To Serve with Love, the teacher there, or the teacher in Freedom Writers movie you have seen, Erin Gruel, or whether it is the teacher in Dead Poets Society, everywhere from past to the present day, people have faced crisis in their career, in their day-to-day life situations. Ask your parents what all difficulties they faced in their life. So let us not blow a difficult situation out of proportions and project it as the worst we have ever seen. No, there is some solution for all this. So please explore them. There is a very interesting movie I would like to talk about before winding up. There is a movie made in the 1980s by the great Bengali film director Buddhadev Dasgupta. I love all his movies. One of the movies directed by him, titled Bagh Bahadur, is about a man who paints his body like a tiger and does tiger dance in the village. and he entertains people. Everyone watches his show, they give him some money, and that is his livelihood. He earns his livelihood by projecting himself as a tiger and dancing before the public. Life goes on, but slowly there is a change. A person comes to the village with a real tiger. A circus group comes to the village, and the villagers have never seen this. Now they start going to watch the circus where they can watch the real tiger performing in the cage. It is doing certain things according to the dictates of its master. Now this poor man who has been performing tiger dance, his name is Kunuram, nobody goes to watch him. So he is in a very serious crisis in life. He does not know what to do now. He doesn't, cry about it or, run away from there. He knows that this is a crisis which is right in front of me. I have to fight it at any cost. And he is ready to face the tiger in the movie. The climax of the movie is so touching and so significant. I would call this movie very metaphorical. Please don't take the movie literally. It is a highly metaphorical, symbolical movie which has spoken about the times that we face, the times that humanity has faced in the past and would face in the future as well. Critical times will come always. Never think that life is going to be smooth. Be ready to face the crisis. See, in the 80s, the great filmmaker could think of something like this. And the tiger, the real tiger in the circus can be the new learning situations, new career challenges that you are facing, whether you are a businessman or you are doing something else, wherever it is, in your own field, there is a new tiger which has come. So your old ways may not help you. You be ready to shift psychologically to the new situation. If you can do that, I think you can survive any crisis. That's what I believe education should teach every one of us. So be happy, be peaceful. You will find a way out of this critical times too. All the best.